Morning, folks. How you doing? Breakfast time in the hut. Got to thinking, slow cooker. Um, and I like making sourdough bread. Had a quick look. Apparently, it's possible. So, gone with guidelines. I'm not going to waste your time. Put these out of the way for a minute. This is my breakfast. Um, done the sourdough malarkey. Typical sourdough. There's a million and one YouTube videos. Yeah. Um, I don't weigh it anymore. I've got used to it. Put some flour in, a little bit of water, mix it, about the right consistency. It works. I use a wholemeal flour for my sourdough starter. People use what they want. Then obviously the process of making the bread. Well, this is a pre-prepared one, as in the old days of Blue Peter. Here's one I made earlier. I started this process yesterday. Yesterday morning, boosted the sourdough starter. Yesterday late afternoon, early evening, I started to make the dough. Lots of different ways of doing it. I use a guideline I have here, which basically is 250 grams, no, 100, 480 grams. I'd read because I do it in two bits. 480 grams of flour, teaspoon of salt, and then I use 350 grams of water. Mix it all in. I find that the initial is a little bit soft, maybe a little bit too much water, but then I use the same bread flour when I'm proving it and folding it and kneading it, so it's boosting it a little bit, and then you get this lovely looking consistency. But down here is what I'm looking for. There's some greaseproof paper. This has been on high for about an hour, which is what is recommended. This is the first time I've done this, so forgive me if I don't get it right. But you're meant to warm the slow cooker up for about an hour, and because now that I've got the free energy, it's time. And ironically, one of the comments I had from my update video, and it was a woman saying about what other sort of recipes and all this, that, and the other, and I'm like, well, I don't really know. I know there's sort of basic slow cooker recipes, and due to the fact that I was in the process of making a sourdough loaf, what are my hands quickly? I thought I had a quick look online. Apparently, it's possible. So, what we're doing is, now that we've got this sourdough loaf, a lot of people. I'm just trying to get it off without it sticking too much. Sorry about that. A little bit of concentration work needed here. Right. Now, look, still a little bit sticky, but still lovely. Now, all I'm going to do is warmed it up. There we go. And it's going to go in on the greaseproof paper that you've seen me put in. And a lot of people do this. Oh, it's got to look fancy. A little razor blade, cut a little line, make it look pretty. Yada, yada, yada. It's bread. Stick it in the oven. That's on high. That should, according to this, we'll find out, take about 2 hours. The first hour, ironically, it will, as these do, you get the steam on the glass and everything, and they steam up, which is good because sourdough does like that moisture. So if you bake them in the oven, you should have a dish of water in the bottom of the oven, bit of moisture. So we shall see. and I will show you the big reveal. But for me this morning, because I haven't got any bread, normally I have a couple of boiled eggs, a bit of bread, and I'm going to make myself, using an egg, 50 grams of plain flour, 1 egg, 1 large egg, compost pile, 150 grams of milk, and a little bit of oil, about a tablespoon. That's all. Get a fork and beat it up. Get a good consistency, and that's breakfast. What I'm doing this is what I'm going to do is making an American style pancake. Now, again, it's just rough, like everything. I mean, you can see then, you say, oh, I've got to put in exactly 50 grams of this and exactly 25 grams of that, and so on and so forth. If you're learning, yeah, go for it. You've got to do it because it gives you a guideline. But then you just work out, and it's like, what I've done here is, yeah, is more or less 50 grams. 1 egg, or 1 egg's 1 egg. The milk, yeah, I sort of used 150 millilitres of milk. But then what happens is quite often, as you can see, it's not quite mixed up, but it's very, very fluid. So all I'll do is I'll just get a little bit more flour. Just add a little bit more, add a little bit more. Because I like to go for the more American style pancakes. And what I am going to do is a bit of sourdough, because I like sourdough. There we go. And then what we'll do is liven that up as well. Again, I'll just put in, look, this is how I do it. It works every time. Put in a reasonable amount, not too much. And then I'll just get a little bit of, this is pre-filtered water, so it's a little bit better. You don't have any foreign bodies in it. And then we just put a little bit of water in there. You get to learn this. It's just a case. It's like everything. Yeah, as I said in previous videos and things. No, I'm not a cook. But what I do need to do is survive and thrive. I need to feed. Now, I work on the logic that if I can make it myself, and I can use the ingredients that I like, when I make my oat cake, and there we go. The consistency, to me, that looks about right. It is surprisingly, once you've got a starter going, it is surprisingly forgiving. Now that, you bring the rubber band down to the height of it there, and hold on, I'll just scrape I always scrape the inside of the jar. I keep saying I'm going to change jars every so often, but I keep forgetting. But just, there we go. Now that, whoop, and I've dropped it, that'll fester. Leave it on the side. Don't put the lid on, just let it rest on top. Job's a good one. And then, so what we're doing is we've got some sourdough in here, and we've got the batter, and that's going to make me, because I'll mix this up, I'll let it sit for half an hour before I mix it. That's cooking. These are going to be cooked, and a healthy breakfast. Because I can. I just suddenly thought, mixing by hand or use a blender. 240-volt blender. Yes, because I've got solar power now. Good quality solar power. Turn that off because it makes a noise. Now that's ready for making breakfast. So I can put that over there. I can get rid of this one. And then hiding behind this one. I love it. I don't know if you can see that bit there. My kettle is boiling. And I'm cooking me bread. All on free energy, people. Now that is making me smile. And I hope you're smiling too. But there we have breakfast, which is going to be American style pancakes. They'll make 2 or 3. I will, of course, slice up an apple. Might even put a tangerine in there. Just put them on top. And then healthy breakfast. A little bit of maple syrup. There you go. Let's see what happens. And as you can see there, I always cook pancakes with a little bit of butter as opposed to oil. And I say, the rest of the mix, so I've done, you see it there, I've cooked one. This one's going to be, oh, the third little one now. But then on a medium, heat. I don't cook them too hot. But as you can see, look at that pancake. Not quite American style, a little bit more crepe style. Mixture was just a little bit runny. What does it matter? We know what it is. We know what's gone into it. It's good for this, because this is good. And I'm cheating. I'm going to have a little bit of honey as opposed to maple syrup, because the honey was the first one I grabbed. There you go. That's that one done. And they do cook quite quick when you get them going. Made myself a coffee, and then we just check this one out in a second. We're almost there. Look at this. I cook this side just until the top starts to solidify. There, and then we just sit there. Flick it over. Missed a little bit there. Let it cook on the other side, and then we're done. Put that one on top. A little bit more apple, a little bit of honey. Breakfast time. Food of kings. Healthy, good for the stomach. I love this world. And that's almost done. Waiting for 2 seconds. So I hope you guys are able to have a good healthy start to life each day. I try, I try to be as healthy as I can. Look after the body as best I can. I use as much as I can homegrown produce, natural produce, purely because a lot of the shop bought stuff, why I make my own bread. Look at what's on the ingredients. You've got chemicals in there. No, I'm not a health guru. I just decided that I want to try and look after this aging body. I want it to be around a little bit longer. And there we have another one. Oh, we layer it up like so. Tip the last in. I'm going to be super greedy because there's no point in keeping that bit. I've got a lot of work to do today. That's my excuse. Got a lot of work to do today. I need the energy. I need to be healthy. And here we go. This is going to be simple as that. A little bit more honey. and it'll set me up for the day. It's as simple as that. It really is simple. Simple food, simple man, simple life. I'm going to have my breakfast. I'll show you how the bread turns out. See you in a bit, folks. And there we go. Breakfast done, washed up, put away, coffee cup ready for the next round of coffee, and we're just about an hour in to the baking of the bread. Now that, look at how that's risen. Now's the time, because you saw the condensation. I've got to do this one hand because I've got my phone in hand. But it's reported that you put tea towel. It is a clean tea towel. I wash tea towels with black clothes. But there, now that will soak up excess moisture. Theoretically, will bake the bread better. I have been told that you don't quite get the crusty element of it, but at the end of the day, it's sourdough bread. Let's see what happens in an hour or so. Well, folks, just a little bit over 2 hours. Just quickly washing my hands because I've been getting rid of all the dead leaves on my strawberry plants in the polytunnel, getting them ready so that all those nice young shoots that are starting to show up give me plenty of strawberries this summer. Because guess what, I like strawberries. But there we go. Right, the grand reveal. Let's see what happens. It's been just over 2 hours, and yep, clean hands. Right, roof off. Let me bring this forward. It's still on. That's as far forward as we can go. And this is genuinely the first time I've looked. I've played it by the guidelines that they said. And here we go. Right. As said, that's warm, bloody warm, but slightly overcooked there. Left it in a little bit too long potentially, but it has risen well. Look at that. Time to let that cool down, and we'll see how that turns out. That is the first time that will reuse. Don't throw it away. So there you go. Yeah, it's like soft on the top, but as we can see there, slightly overcooked potentially. But you've got that nice hollow sound where it is crusty. Feels a little bit there, but I shall let that cool for an hour. We'll cut into it and we'll see. To see if electricity can make me a nice sourdough loaf. Have I told you I love sourdough? And now it's cooled. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's actually stiffened up a little bit, but it is still soft. But the sure as hell sounds right, just because it's not been in the oven. But what I'm going to do is take a little bit off the end and see. I'm doing it cack-handed for the camera. But that to me, people, That's nice in there. Smells nice. That's cooked in there. And that looks superb. And all important, taste test. Mmm. No, I mean, I possibly left it in the slow cooker a little bit too long, but now that I've got free electricity, I'm going to be making my sourdough bread in a slow cooker. Now, if I can do this, any of you guys can do this. This stuff is better for you than normal bread. It's homemade as well, but the sourdough element, it's got the probiotic thing, because obviously the sourdough starter is a fermentation process. So you've got the fermentation process coming into you, which is good. But there you go. That's how I do breakfast. That's how I prepare for lunch, dinner, and the next day, and so on, with and like a loaf of bread. Please, comments. What do you think? Maybe even slow cookers. What do you suggest? I'll give it a go. Anyway, chicken logo's up there in the top there, and I really do appreciate all your comments. I do love them. Take care, folks. We'll see you on the next video. Ta-da for now.